2021 was another golden year for television, with a whole bunch of new series worth binge-watching. However, few have had the same deep effect on us as Showtime's Yellowjackets. In the woods, something mysterious happens, and each episode of the series juggles various mysteries. With only 3 episodes left in the season, let's go into our most outlandish Yellowjackets fan theories. Number 1. Jackie was devoured, aka eaten. Yellowjackets started with a dramatic opening. The first episode features a little girl fleeing desperately through the woods, stopping to cry, and then sprinting away as if her life depended on it. Unfortunately, she's impaled when she falls into a pit laced with spikes. The remainder of the group chows down on her body, which is strung up and slain like a deer carcass while donning horrific costumes that mask their identity. Young Misty, played by Sammy Henrati, is the only face we see in the scenario. It's been a never-ending riddle to figure out who's behind the masks and who fell into the abyss. We all are dying to unearth this grave mystery. The doomed girl has been speculated to be Jackie, played by Ella Purnell, partly due to her hair and build, and partly because the figure is wearing a necklace that belongs to Jackie, and which she temporarily gives to BFF Shauna, played by Sophie Nélisse, before returning it. What caught fans' attention was that Jackie is also the Yellowjackets' queen bee at their high school. Although she proves to be fairly useless when it comes to survival, Jackie's popularity declines over the season, and it appears that the rest of the team may finally turn on her. But alas, the theory comes with its issues, which is what our next theory is based on. Number 2. But wait, Jackie survives. This notion is based on what appears to be a production glitch. It is heavily indicated that Jackie is dead, or at the very least, missing and thought dead, during a scene in which grown-up Shauna, played by Melanie Lynskey, pays a visit to Jackie's parents for the world's most awkward brunch. Shauna also visits Jackie's unspoiled adolescent bedroom and reads one of her writings. Nothing goes past the eagle-eyed viewers. Many noticed that titles on Jackie's lists of favorite movies and bands were published after the fake Yellowjackets jet went down in 1996. Was this a blunder on the part of the show's prop master, or did Jackie return to her suburban house and then die or vanish under mysterious circumstances? You never know. Let's see how long we'll have to wait for this mystery to be solved. Number 3. Adam and Javi are the same. Adult Shauna gets into a minor car accident with Adam, played by Peter Gadio, and soon after, the two are having a passionate romance that becomes increasingly questionable. Adam Martin is not only untraceable on the internet, but he also appears to have lied about his educational qualifications. What turned the tables was when Shauna confronts him about his lying. She discovers that he has some Yellowjackets reading material tucked away in his studio, and even though Adam is no longer alive, the mystery of who he is continues to live. Many people believe that Adam was Travis's younger brother, Javi, played by Luciano Leroux, who was cruelly disregarded for most of the season. However, the show attempts to draw comparisons between Adam's and Javi's characters, demonstrating that they both created art and implying a stronger link between young Shauna and Javi at the cabin. But even if it was 20 years later, how could she not recognize the kid? And why would Javi be messing with her in the first place? All these burning questions are leading fans to come up with mind-boggling theories. But wait, the line of crazy theories related to Adam doesn't end there. Another theory is that he is Shauna's unborn child, which she is carrying when the plane crashes. Gadio is in his mid-30s, thus casting him as a character in his mid-20s makes little sense. In an interview with a magazine, Gadio acknowledged his plot was a red herring, saying he is truly just who he says he was. On the other hand, let's just say that Gadio isn't sitting in the writer's room. As his back tattoo suggests, Adam is clearly someone more important than a casual hookup. It resembles a mountain range, a map, or some other ominous symbol, which is very Yellowjackets if you ask us. It seems like they're giving us all these signs to piece the puzzles together one by one. Number 4. Lottie is the infamous Antler Queen. A pair of antlers draped with pearl drop earrings are worn by the figure ruling over her fellow cannibals. However, what garnered the fans' interest was when Courtney Eaton, who was medicated for unexplained mental health difficulties until she ran ran out of her prescription in a haunted cabin is the one wearing the crown, according to the show. Then, in the penultimate episode, Lottie whips the other ladies into a man-hunting frenzy and orders Shauna to slice the throat of Travis, played by Kevin Alves, who they're all certain is a deer at this point. The amount of gore in this series is just becoming questionable. Finally, for the sacrificial ceremony, Lottie dons the antlers. Is she going to keep them on as the group becomes more ferocious? Will they be passed along as the seasons progress? These questions leave a gaping hole that fans deem fit to fill with their crazy theories. Number 5, the man without the eyes. We're not sure where to start on this, except that the original reveal is one of Yellowjackets' most terrifying scenes. This theory is just as creepy as its name, so buckle up, because you're in for a ride. When Ty was visiting her sick grandma, she saw a ghostly, pale, male-presenting apparition with bloodied and empty eye holes for the first time. She has been troubled by this image in the years since, especially recently during a news conference outside her home. The man also appears in the woods during the opening credits. While credit scenes aren't always part of the show, it does indicate that the eyeless man has accompanied Ty to Canada, whether visible or unseen. And while we're on the subject of credits, let's jump to the next theory related to credits. Number 6, mystery man in the credits. Roxana Haddadi of Vulture noticed an unexpected figure in the opening credits who resembles Coach Ben, but is clearly not the same person. Is this supposed to be the French Canadian or something else? Who is his kidnapper? We'd rather he didn't come up to the house uninvited anytime soon, because he appears to be quite dangerous, and will probably be running for our dear lives. Number 7, there's a supernatural aspect at work here. From gore to supernaturals, there's nothing that this show hasn't covered. Yellowjackets tread a fine line between implying the supernatural and delving into what could be trauma-based reactions to believing you'll die terribly and be eaten for almost a year and a half. It's probably more fun not to know whether or not the problem exists, but it would explain a lot. There's Lottie for starters. It's believed that Lottie is either schizophrenic or has clairvoyant abilities. She appears to be breaking down or foreseeing the peril and demise of other girls at various times, so we definitely peg her to be having some crazy supernatural powers. Even still, just because her visions appear to come true doesn't imply she sees the future. Then there's Tysa, who, as an adult, played by Tawny Cypress, frequently hallucinates wolves, and as a teen, played by Jasmine Savoy Brown, appears to start dissociating, sleepwalking, climbing trees, and even eating mud. Adult Tysa begins to sleepwalk again, ostensibly due to stress, but flashbacks reveal that even as a small child, Tysa was haunted by the man with no eyes, who may or may not show up later at the cabin. Poor Tysa seems to have a lot on her plate from a very young age. The supernatural gala doesn't end there. Even the cabin itself has evidence of demonic spirits, with a dehydrated body in the attic and scary symbols carved into the trees in the neighborhood. It doesn't want them to leave, Lottie says ominously, without elaborating on what it is. Unfortunately, she appears to be correct. First, a wolf assault on Tysa's boyfriend thwarts her attempt to flee, and then Laura Lees, played by Jane Widdop, burns up as she tries to fly out for rescue. Things are eerily eerie in the woods, although you might say that even in the best of circumstances. Number 8, the French Canadian. Yellowjacket has sworn to never stay behind on the gore content. Whatever you think of the skeleton in the attic, it's clear that it's anything but calm. Yellowjackets haven't gone into detail about this in the show, but for a person to die and decay up there, he must be unable to escape. The attic had no indications of bloodshed or other harm, implying that the Canadian was held captive, a possibility made more likely by the skeleton's missing fingers. Someone or something prevented this person from leaving the woods, not only in the plane, but also from fleeing the cabin and running to the sea. This person was likely maimed by their captor or a previous injury, and then died or starved while alone in the room. We are literally dying to know who could be so heartless to hold a person captive till there's nothing left but bones. That's a wrap for this video. Do you have theories related to Yellowjackets? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.